Hey. We are back for another full episode, Josh.
As opposed to a partial episode?
Well, I think we're kind of partial all the time. Okay, everything's set. I'm sorry, I'm looking off to the screen here. Hey, welcome to the show. I'm Scott Pienta alongside my co-host and cohort, Mr. Josh Coletta.
Good afternoon, everyone.
So, we're just we're doing our thing here. It is 2 o'clock. We're actually a little ahead of time. Let me turn that down. That's going to get annoying really quick. Because I'm listening to myself, and I shouldn't be listening to myself. Oh, you're off center?
Yeah.
Maybe center yourself. Hey, and your curtain's open. What the heck, man? What are you doing over there? Can't take you anywhere, man. You got nice things, and you're messing them all up. Jeez, oh, Pete.
I gotta be like over here to get in the center of that shot.
Or maybe you moved your chair over. I
gotta lean back over here to get in the center of that. We gotta realign that.
I have to realign the camera now, I guess. What did you do? You changed something?
I didn't change anything. I haven't touched a thing.
So if you haven't been to the show before, well, this is what it's about. So this is news, and what we do is we talk about current events, the local, national, regional. We talk, and not only current events, but we just talk about really anything.
A little bit of everything.
Anything that really pops across our desk and pops in our mind, I guess. But anyways, so if you want to chime in, hey,
bother me all the time.
We're watching our Facebook feeds. We're watching our social media groups. We're streaming both this on YouTube on our HTV1 page as well as on htv1michindoh on our Facebook page. And I don't think we switched over our mainstream yet, but we should start doing that going forward here. But anywho, this will be a replay on our mainstream later on. And if you wonder where that mainstream is, it's playing games and stuff all day long on htv1.net. And just click on the Watch Live on that. You can check out all kinds of things. And plus, we got all our stories on there from our news that we do. Now, this is going to have news, but this isn't not yet. Not today, John. We were doing a couple other things today, but you can catch out our news stories from eventually today soon. And then later on, earlier this week.
Yes.
But anything that's always populating up on there, we keep up to date with that. But this is not a scripted newscast like we do every morning at 10 a.m. It's not a newscast. It's a
commentary
podcast.
show.
This is a commentary show. I guess you could call it a commentary show.
Yep.
So anywho, let's get right into this, Josh. We talked about the channel, how you can find us. You talked about what time. Normally we're on at 2:30 in the afternoon, but we came on early today because I've got some commitments.
Prior appointment.
Yeah, it's a tough thing when you're just a few guys and you've got other prior commitments, and I've got a marketing meeting at 3 o'clock today, so I've got to be at that. Normally I said at 3:30, but or after the shows, but we actually made that commitment prior to going on air today, or scheduling the show when we first coming back. So I have to do that show or that marketing meeting. So and then we got competitive cheer tonight, and that should be on HTV1. We're trying to get our wireless modem to connect back to the studio here. So I was working on that before this show. Anyways. What we got coming up, Josh?
State of the network.
Yes, speech. It's a state. Yeah, it's always something. But let's get right into the show, Josh. And our first video here is more U.S. service members suffer brain injuries than previously known from the Iranian missile attack on troops in Iraq earlier this month. 16 more cases are added to the Pentagon officials announced last week. Now, President Trump at a rally Tuesday night in New Jersey applauding the U.S. troops for the drone strike that killed top Iranian general earlier this month, and that general is Qasem Soleimani. Now, the Pentagon reports that 50 military personnel are suffering traumatic brain injuries following a retaliatory missile strike from Iran on that strike. So according to the Pentagon, 32 of those service members are back on active duty after the treatment. 18 were taken to Germany for additional evaluation and treatment. President Trump and the Pentagon originally said no troops were killed or injured, Josh, on the January 8th.
He has a tendency to double down
attack
on that
from Iran. But last week, in Switzerland, the president backtracked on the issue. Now, traumatic brain injuries aren't always immediately apparent, but the Pentagon's announcement shows the attack was more serious than the military, than suffered in the military or mild.
And there's a Trump quote here in the story as well that we had we had sound of in the video that he's talking about how he had heard that they had headaches and a couple other things, but he said, I would say, and I can report, it is not very serious, which again is going to that whole doubling down thing that, no, the Pentagon is saying, no, it is serious, so.
Right. Well, the Veterans and Foreign Affairs Wars, Josh, is calling for President Trump to issue an apology for minimizing the brain issue service members suffered.
As well they should.
From the Iranian attack. So, that's
Can you tell where I stand on this issue?
Yeah, it is. It's one of those things where being in the military, ex-military, being ex-military. I know, like these things happen, and you gotta. There's no attack on us that doesn't come with some unfortunate casualties,
and
regardless of death.
My biggest problem here is that. Again, facts are facts are facts are facts are facts. You had an attack,
right?
Trump denied it. You had people injured, Trump denied it. Now he's backtracking and saying, well, yes, there were brain injuries, but it's not very serious. Now the Pentagon is saying, yes, it is serious.
Right.
Just tell the friggin' truth.
Right.
I mean, this is why you have to have a president who actually reads intelligence reports, who actually reads the things put in front of him.
Oh, yeah, no, I get it.
And this guy is just going with his gut the whole way and getting people injured. It's insane.
Yeah, it's sometimes, he's got to pay attention. He's got to read the fine print, and he just kind of says whatever for his base, and it's frustrating instead of reporting the whole thing or getting the whole story in the first place. Hey, Nick, what's going on, brother? Hey, man, all the way from Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas.
Sin City.
Well, I don't know. It's a Sin City. I mean,
at least it's unofficial.
It's an official title. I mean, it could be Angel City, depending on what side of the the Vegas you're on. So getting into our next top story here, Josh. Well, this one here, a cop is going to be, Maryland police are preparing murder charges against one of their own officers. Now, this is the crazy story. Now, Corporal Michael Owen killed a man after responding to a multi-vehicle car crash. Now, witnesses on the scene said 43-year-old William Green ran into several cars, and the officers removed Green from his car and handcuffed him after one of them thought he smelled PCP. I've never smelled PCP, so I've never known that you could smell PCP. But hey, evidently they've got very keen noses.
Yes.
Now they put him in the front seat of Owen's cruiser while they waited for a drug expert to arrive, and I'm sure it was probably a dog or something. At one point, Owen got into the driver's seat and shot Green several times after some sort of a struggle. Now, the police chief says he believes it was murder. So that's just a crazy incident. The events that led to Owen shooting Green are not known. Owen and another officer delivered first aid to him following the shooting. He died at the hospital soon after.
I will say, the whole odor of quote-unquote thing, that has repeatedly in courts been shown to be completely ineffective, especially with marijuana. It's, you can smell marijuana, obviously,
right.
But it has been proven repeatedly that excuse is used to, come up with some sort of search reasoning, because if you smell marijuana, then you have reason to search the car. So the smell of PCP, I don't know, that to me is just reaching. That's...
I just don't get the whole. How do you? I've never done PCP.
No,
but
I haven't either. I have no idea if there's an odor or not.
I mean, more likely it's mostly. So I'm not quite sure how you got a PCP odor.
I don't understand this at all.
The whole thing, and then the altercation in the car is another whole thing. Is like, why would an officer even pull a gun? The guy's in the car, unless he was had a weapon and he was.
And
pulled
it said
it
he
out.
was restrained.
He was restrained. So they had to have checked him out. They had to have cleared, made sure he had no needles. They always, do you have anything that's going to stick me, poke me, or get me? Before I put you in the car.
Every cop car comes standard with a metal divider between the front and the back, so it's not like the guy could have reached over the headrest and strangled the cop or anything.
I don't know. Maybe the cop owed him some money and he didn't want to pay up. I don't know. It's a terrible tragedy, but it's like, what? I mean, it's so weird. I mean, this unless the evidence really looks in his favor. But if you don't have dash cam footage, you don't have backseat footage in the thing, you don't have your camera on your person to see. I mean, and I'm sure all of that would have been released by now, saying, "Hey, this was a justified shooting." But if they haven't released that, then there's a real problem already.
Well, I mean, the police chief even said, there's a quote here that he says, "I'm unable to come to our community this evening and provide you with a reasonable explanation for the events that occurred last night." So even the police chief is saying, there's nothing here saying, there's nothing here to say that this was justified at all.
Right.
So, that to me is pretty damning.
Yeah, it is. And, all right, well, I tell you what, we're going to get into the next story here, maybe if I can prep it. I forgot to prep it. Sorry, Josh.
I am amused by this story.
Yeah, it was. Oh, this one coming up. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good story. I tell you what. Hey, well, I tell you what, Josh. What is the worst thing that you can do?
Probably going to court and then doing the exact thing that you were put in court for.
Well, how about this? This is what he did. He recommitted the same crime that you're being tried for, according to these deputies. That's what this marijuana suspect did in the courtroom in Lebanon, Tennessee. Spencer Boston faced a marijuana possession charge on Tuesday, but he argued that pot, well, it should be legal.
Move to Michigan, bro.
And to make his point, the 20-year-old lit up a joint in front of the judge, but that didn't go over well, and the security quickly took him out. You can see it right there on camera. There he goes, getting arrested. The judge held him in contempt of court and slapped him with an extra disorderly conduct charge. Boston is now serving 10 days in jail. After that, he'll be eligible for bond. Well, pot is legal for either medical or recreational, illegal for medical or recreational use in Tennessee.
Loosen up, Tennessee.
Yeah, man, it's a bright state. They don't like liquor. They don't like anything down there, man. There's something else.
They're not quite as bad as Alabama or Mississippi, but they're close.
I mean, I think it's just hilarious. I mean, he just lights it up. He's
just right there in front of the judge.
I'm going to jail, and I should have brought up the mug shot of him. And that it's hilarious too because he just got a big old cheese-eating grin on his face. You know what I mean? And it's yeah. Well, hey man,
seriously, dude, move to Michigan.
He's gonna get some high fives going into jail now. I mean, I tell you what, he's gonna be like a celebrity. He'll be like, man,
he lit up in front of a judge. Kick ass, man.
That thing is that's hilarious. Well, what do you expect, man? So let's see.
I mean, to me, that's just civil disobedience right there.
Right.
I mean, there's no reason for it to be illegal. We've decided that here in Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be illegal anymore. No. I mean, it is what it is, So
less harmful than alcohol.
What they say, if it's grows in the ground, it's more likely okay. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Not everything is. I mean, there's some poisonous stuff.
I mean, anything can be harmful. It's You drink too much water, you can die.
That's right. You can overhydrated. Yeah, that's exactly it. So, getting back to the stories, I tell you what, here we are. Well, Josh, guess
Super
what?
Bowl coming up.
Super Bowl is coming up, and almost 70,000 people are expected to attend the biggest night football. Super Bowl 54 at the Hard Rock Stadium. The NFL says
Joe
the experts
Robbie
will be different down to the food. So if you're asking the chefs, 250 chefs working at the Hard Rock Stadium, they'll tell you the food is just as important. Huh? Oh,
Joe Robbie
as the game. And get this, you can eat very well for under $50. It's hard to believe, Josh, in an NFL stadium. Maybe that's just under $50 a person. They didn't specify how many people. It's just under $50. The NFL says everything from a stadium experience as the food is elevated on every level. And there are 250 chefs at the stadium who built quite the menu. The diversity found in South Florida is an inspiration for what you'll find in the concession stands.
Peruvians, Haitians, Dominicans.
Yeah, mojitos, Cortilla? Cordillita, and I want a Corbano. Yeah, I guess that's what you're going to have. Those are going to be all three levels of the concessions. Lower level concession stands will be offering full flavorful pork nachos, Cabano sausage, burgers, prime rib sliders, and seafood dishes. Premium concession stands, unfortunately, are going to offer savory pork chop can, a list of other fine dishes, and the save room for dessert, as you might need it. I tell you what, everything for under $50. So you're going to look at $20 to $35 to eat at the Super Bowl this year. So it's going to be
which is
pretty interesting.
Fairly standard pricing for that stadium.
I think it'd be just
actually
something else.
I mean, the food is probably about right price-wise for even compared to the regular season. It's the seats that are expensive. So
seats are always expensive. What are the seats going for this year? I'm assuming.
Oh, geez, up into the
thousands.
Yeah,
I haven't even looked at what they are
2000s,
this year. You know what I mean?
depending on where you are in relation to the field.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at this year. I mean, it's it's going to be crazy.
It's going to be even more so, especially considering the renovations that they're trying to offset the cost of. So.
Right. No, I get it. Hey, so, all right, so we're going to take a quick break, and while we take a quick break, well, we're going to get some bills paid. When we come back, we'll be right back with you more on the Hometown Media Network right here on So This Is News. We'll be right back, folks.
Authentic Mexican food is just a short drive away at El Cerrito in Coldwater and Hillsdale. The variety-packed menu has something for everyone, with classic Mexican dishes, El Cerrito specialties, and tasty treats for dessert. Don't forget the best margaritas in town with margarita specials Friday and Saturday. And carry-out ordering is great for work lunches or picking up dinner for the family. Make your next meal a fiesta for your taste buds at El Cerrito on Chicago Street in downtown Coldwater and Carlton Road in Hillsdale.
There's a reason that professionals shop at Jonesville Lumber. They expect quality, service, and knowledge. And that's exactly what they receive. For nearly 100 years, Jonesville Lumber has been family-owned. We take pride in serving our area with great products at competitive prices. We have dedicated project estimators in-house that will help figure the materials needed to complete your next task at hand. Whether you're building your dream home, adding a pole barn, building a deck, updating your kitchen, or painting your front door, let Jonesville Lumber help you with your next project. The Sunrise Shops are here to serve you. With drinks to quench every thirst and snacks aplenty, we have a great convenient selection. At Sunrise, we brew our signature coffee every day to ensure its freshness. We also have the area's largest 16-head fountain soda machine. No wonder our customers keep coming back. Great quality, great service. That's Sunrise. With convenient locations in Jonesville, Sunrise Shops are always right around the corner.
Okay, hey, we're back right here on HTV1, right? And I tell you what, hey, welcome back to the show. This is News. I am your man with the plan, I guess, for today, Mr. Scott Pienta, and
Yes.
we're going to talk all kinds of different things. We're actually just finished up our first segment. We're going to go into our next. And this one,
goodness.
and Josh has got his
Darn
audio
sound.
on something. And we're watching this. If you guys have any comments, hey, Lynn, how are you doing? I guess it's my mom. She's a hi, Mom. Well, I guess you could say that. She likes watching me. I don't know why. I guess she was just checking on me, make sure I don't get in trouble or something like that. I don't know quite what she's doing.
That's a 24/7 job.
Getting into some more stuff here. We're going to talk a little bit about gosh, where is it? I got to get my mouse where I need it. Oh, here it is. Hospital going up for sale, Josh.
Yes.
Why don't you tell that story?
Well, after owning the facility for 2 years and operating it for 4, ProMedica Health System is looking to sell Coldwater Regional Hospital. The Toledo-based system made the announcement in a statement on Tuesday, according to WTVB and the Daily Reporter. The statement says ProMedica has made significant improvements and investments to the hospital over the past 4 years, resulting in strong performance and profitability. Sources say CRH is actually the most profitable of all of ProMedica's facilities, with net revenue of over $1 million in 2019, while most other ProMedica hospitals are currently in the red. That success, ProMedica says, has prompted 5 potential buyers to express interest in the hospital. They're evaluating the options, to determine what best meets the needs of the hospital and the Branch County community. They add that they believe the hospital would benefit from being part of a healthcare system that is headquartered closer to Coldwater. ProMedica also owns Bixby Hospital in Adrian, Herrick Medical Center in Tecumseh, and the Monroe Medical Center. The system bought the hospital from Branch County for $17 million in 2018, also assuming the responsibility of a $9.2 million bond issue for capital improvements. That deal was initially negotiated in 2015, but legislative changes were necessary to allow the sale to go through. The county used the money from that sale to pay into its retirement system. The hospital board was informed of the decision last week, with an email being sent to hospital employees this past Monday.
I know it's why would you sell something that's making money?
I figure it's to offset the cost of the other hospitals that are losing money. I mean, it's something says to me that ProMedica is probably in financial trouble and needs to sell off something that is actually working for them.
But I would sell the one that's not profitable. To me, that's what I would say. I mean,
but will someone actually buy it? That's the question. I mean, granted, they bought a hospital that wasn't profitable. I mean, they turned Coldwater Regional around. The county was losing money on it, so they bought it up. But I mean, if your goal is to make money, then obviously you want to sell off something that is working for you and try to turn around the other things.
And I understand maybe this because they are a little further away, and they can sell it to a company. Thing. It's harder to manage maybe. But if it's successful, I would adjust what you're doing at the other hospitals to mirror what's going on here.
The question
as a business
is, can
owner.
you? That's
well, I mean, it's not any different. A hospital is a hospital. It can operate the same way. If this one's being successful, then that one over there should be able to do the same. All you have to do is figure out what's working out right here and what's not working there. Eliminate that issue, or scale back, cut back, whatever you have to do. But I would be getting rid of the spots that aren't. I'd be selling them off maybe a little bit cheaper because this one's profitable.
Yeah,
you might lose $1 million in this one, but this one's already made it up $1 million. So you get rid of that headache, the loss. Now you're going to break even this year. Next year you come out more profitable, and the other ones don't shape up. Well, then get rid of them.
One of the problems, at least in Adrian, I think one of the problems is that Bixby, they've got so much invested into the new hospital that's being built on the north side of town there that they're closing down the old one. So, they can't really shed that one. That one's too much. They have too much invested into it.
Right.
Tecumseh, I don't know. Monroe, I don't know. It's kind of up in the air, I would guess. But I don't know. There's definitely something we're not being told here.
There's something that we're not being told. All right, getting on to the next thing here, Josh. Well, I tell you what, and you pointed this out in the next story, which is while WTB says the website homesnacks.net has used data from the Census Bureau to determine the fastest growing cities in Michigan, and Coldwater, guess what? Came out on top, number one. The city has experienced 10.9% population growth since 2010, with the current count showing 12,284 residents. Now, that's a jump from their 75th place last year, right to number one. Rockford came in second, Novi was third, Auburn Hills came in fourth, and New Baltimore was fifth. Chelsea, East Grand Rapids, Kentwood, Rochester, and South Lyon rounded out the top 10. According to Home Snacks, this is their sixth time compiling these rankings. Well, where does Hillsdale fall in there? Where does Adrian
not even
fall
on
there?
the map?
Not even.
We're losing people.
Yes, they're all moving to Coldwater.
Yeah,
I know my son is. He's moving to Coldwater. So I don't know. I tell you
I did see earlier today the Daily Reporter put out an article addressing this, and they said that the reason for the jump is because the city of Coldwater took control of the land that the prison sits on. Took control of that from the township. The problem I have with that argument is I don't believe prison populations count toward permanent residency.
Well, they shouldn't, because they're temporary housed, and on top of that, they are not allowed to vote.
They're not paying taxes. They may be paying taxes into if they're working from prison, but they don't vote. So it's not permanent residency. I don't think that actually counts toward resident count under the census.
Otherwise, they'd be building prisons and everything to get more census, to get bigger numbers.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I don't think that's how that works. So I don't know. I'm questioning that coming from the Daily Reporter.
But we have to do our own research on that.
Yeah,
I guess.
I mean it's possible, but I don't think that's how that works.
Right.
There was something else I was going to say there, and now it skips my mind.
Skippity-loo, bob-blue. Well, it doesn't matter. It must not have been important about that. But anyways, we are going to talk about this. This is now a little more serious note, but this always reminds everybody, and this is one of the biggest concerns, as you know. Thankfully, knock on any wood, there haven't been any mass shootings in schools as of lately.
No.
So we want to keep that trend going. So those watching, make sure that pass it along, keep it going. But anyways, concerns in an area high school, or it's not really a high school, but concerns in an area school district over vulgarity. Vaguely threatening Snapchat messages have been dismissed by local and state authorities. The Hillsdale Daily News reported on a story that says a letter was sent home to Camden Frontier parents last week advising them of the messages. But Superintendent Kevin Kelly says a letter at the Michigan State Police had investigated and found that the two kids involved, who had been the victim of bullying, sent the messages as retaliation. Now, those two students were apprehended, Josh, and later released to their parents. Now, the case was sent to County Prosecutor Neil Brady, who determined that there was no criminal offense, and so no officials are not filing any charges. And the letter did say that significant disciplinary measures are being taken at the school district level. But Kelly told the Daily News that the federal law prohibits school administrators from disclosing the details of that punishment. He says he wants all students to feel safe and to report any bullying incidents to the staff. He added that Camden Frontier will never sweep any case of bullying under the rug, and that's another issue. Bullying is, it's a big thing,
Which to me, I mean, I understand I understand that. Making threats like that would not be the way to go about addressing bullying, but excuse me, I think that's it's kind of well established that bullying does relate to people making threats like that. So
yeah, it does. And
I think I need to get some water. Excuse me,
do
please.
Something. So while Josh gets some water, we're going to take a quick break while he steps away because he's a man who's parched on a mission, evidently. So while he takes a break, goes get some water. Hey, we're going to take a break as well. Maybe. There we go. There's the music. That's what I was looking for. Check out more information and our details right on our Facebook page. Always sign up and share and like our posts because that's how we get more sponsors. Got more sponsors coming here soon. Some pretty good size ones. So you want to check out those sponsors. And always reach out to our sponsors and like and share their Facebook page as well. Let them know that you watched her and see their commercials right here on HTV1. As for myself, I'll be right back. After I select my commercials. I didn't get a chance to do that. I was kind of being lazy, evidently. So let me do that now. We'll be right back right after this, folks.
El Cerrito's variety-packed menu has something for everyone. With generous servings and lots of flavor, you'll think of it as a fiesta for your taste buds. Dine in or carry out at El Cerrito on Chicago Street in downtown Coldwater and Carlton Road in Hillsdale.
Tired of having everyone know you're coming before you arrive because of your exhaust? If so, then it's time to call the experts at RS Custom Exhaust in Hillsdale. RS Custom Exhaust has all the tools and parts to make your vehicle quiet again. And for you sports car enthusiasts, if you're looking for the roar to be the king of the roads, RS Custom Exhaust can help you too. With free estimates and first-class service, RS Custom Exhaust has your vehicle covered. So stop and see them today, located at 1461 Vera Drive in Hillsdale.
The Saucy Dogs is the name and barbecue is the game. Come on down for a good time and some great food. At Saucy Dogs, try our barbecue nachos or our tasty ribs. We'll have you howling for more. Saucy Dogs, downtown Jonesville.
Hey, we're back. Sorry about that. I had my mics on. I was still talking to Josh there for a minute on the commercial break.
Sorry for running off like that. That hit me out of nowhere and it was not going away.
Yeah, next time, Josh, you're going to be flogged. So I tell you what, Tay, we're getting right back into the show here. We got our next story coming up, which actually hails from Florida. You used to know something about Florida.
A little bit.
This next story coming from Florida is a little company known as SpaceX, Josh.
Yes.
Well, SpaceX has, that is not SpaceX.
That's Hard Rock State. Also in Florida. Closer to my home.
This is SpaceX.
I could see rocket launches. Well, let me tell you where I was in Florida, where I grew up. I could see launches from Cape Canaveral. I could hear events events at Hard Rock Stadium, or Joe Robbie Stadium, as I still call it. So,
SpaceX. Oh, that's why you kept saying that.
Yes.
SpaceX has a successful launch
it will
from
always be Joe Robbie Stadium to
Cape
me.
Canaveral, Florida, Wednesday after a scrapping Monday and Tuesday's planned launches due to weather. So they launched off today just after 9 a.m. Eastern Time. The company sent a Falcon 9 rocket carrying 60 small internet beaming satellites into orbit, joining dozens of others. More launches are lined up for this year as part of the company's unprecedented push to build its broadband internet business, Starlink. The goal is to offer affordable internet services to parts of the U.S. and Canada by summer. And they are launching a lot of them. I mean, this is what, the fourth trip, I think?
It's going to be a massive network.
It's going to be a crazy network. So they're going to really put some dampers on some broadband people if they want to do it. Eventually to beam cheap, high-speed broadband across the globe, including rural areas that do not currently have internet access, and which is going to be great for guys like us that we stream. And we're out at these.
Overdue.
I mean, yeah, we're out to these remote areas. Like this summer, we want to do some sprint car races, motocross, and everything else. And we're out at these dirt tracks, and there's no cell towers anywhere near us. Sometimes.
Well, I mean, like my parents live just about a half-mile north of Frontier, and they can't get DSL. Frontier can't get DSL to them because it's just too far away from any of the switches. They can't get fiber out there. They have fiber going right past them, but there's no center to actually build an off-ramp from. So So yeah, they don't have any broadband access. They had been relying on cell service from the closest towers, which will give them like 1 or 2 bars of service, and it's just completely unusable. So this would be as long as it's affordable, this will definitely be a boon to rural users.
Yeah, I tell you, it is a. Excuse me. It is a boom, all right, and it's just I just find it fascinating how we're getting how technology is moving ahead and into people online and what we do in this industry right now is the new norm is 5 years from now, and that's how we're gambling. I mean, I'm gambling, heavily on it. That what we're doing right now, I have no idea, is going to be watching TV from your phones.
Oh yeah,
because you're talking,
which people are already doing from the major networks with Hulu.
Well, yeah, you look at the
Netflix
18-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds. That's all they do is watch their phones. They walk around the house watching their phones, watching people play games, watching stories, watching this, watching that. And they're going to be 20 to 23 years old, and that's what their new norm is going to be. And so that generation is going to continue to get older and continue to want to watch sports on their phone, watch their kids, watch this, watch that, and that's what they're going to expect to see going forward. More and more content coming out. So I'm betting that this is a big jump and leap forward.
Especially local content.
Yeah, local content is really difficult to find, especially in a town our size. I mean, what are we, 8,000 people?
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking Coldwater's growing.
Yeah.
They're 12,284 people, I think is what the number was we just said.
About that.
So, I mean, we're not some big cities, Adrian
is probably the largest in our area, and they're 26,000, I think.
Yeah,
so
I mean, we're not talking, we're not in Fort Worth, we're
No.
not in, Dallas, Texas, or Washington, D.C.
Or Miami.
We're just in some small local community, and we try to do the best we can to give people a broadcast, give people what they want to see and hear. So it is tough. What's going to happen in the future? Well, who knows? But I'm hoping that we're on one of the cutting edges of it. And this with the SpaceX going up there, I tell you what, it's going to be really interesting
on both ends.
Very much so, because I tell you what, that's exactly what we need when we go out to do these games. That's what I was talking about. Like tonight, I'm trying to prep to going to do the cheerleading at Hillsdale. They got their first home meet in years, so the girls are all really excited. So, but the problem is getting into school. I got to deal with the internet. I got to deal with their servers. I would just like to take my device with me.
Yeah.
Show up
Then
out
go.
there. I'm ready to rock and roll. I don't have to
Which
deal
we're
with
halfway to that point with the cell service. It just doesn't go everywhere.
Exactly. It doesn't go everywhere. And with SpaceX and their Starlink concept, hey man, that can go everywhere. It doesn't really matter where I'm at. I have connectivity, and or as long as they have the satellites there. But hopefully if they have it all across the country, I can go anywhere.
Yeah.
and pay $70 a month or whatever the heck the bill's going to be. But they say it's going to be cheap, reliable service, so it's going to be probably, I'm sure, cheaper. So
I would hope so.
It'll be interesting to see what comes out of it. This next video here, Josh, well, if you think you got too many singles in your wallet, well, check this out. Last week, U.S. Customs and Border Protection seized $900,000 in counterfeit $1 bills from a shipping container, Josh. Now, the bills were packaged into 45 cartons in a commercial rail shipment from China. CBP officers made the find at the International Falls Port of Entry in Minnesota. Authorities will turn the currency over to the Secret Service. You know, that's
our money is already almost worthless, so why do we need more floating around out there?
Well, evidently they're planning on getting them to single guys or married guys going to the adult complex, I guess.
I guess so.
You know, maybe that's what they're for. Maybe who knows what they're for? But I'm sure they're for spending $900,000. I guess the $1 bill was supposed to be less conspicuous than the tradition. Than easily. A 10 or 20 or.
Well, I mean, you hear it in crime stories all the time. Small bills. You want small bills to not to attract attention. So.
Right, but that's a lot. I mean, you see that crate. I mean, that's it's a lot of them. I mean, I must have been a double take. You thought it was drug money or something like that, and find out because I mean, why would they be shipping it into the country?
Yeah,
we normally heading the other way, so they probably looked at it and were like, okay, let's test this stuff out. But that's that is a lot of, and they look from the partial of it, they look real.
Looks fairly real.
It looks fairly really real. So
a little too new, but
yeah. I mean, but you get that all the time.
In fact, I think I would say, judging from that, the paper color is a little off.
Yeah. I don't know.
Could just be the lighting, but it does look like the paper color is a little off.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a little off, I think, in regular dollar bills. So, we'll see.
But no, I'm saying compared to a regular dollar and a real dollar bill, it looks a little lighter than it should.
Yeah. Well, hey, they didn't get it in here, I guess.
No, yeah. So, I mean, it was caught. So
it's always, I guess, a good thing. So our money's still safe.
Yep.
So. All right, we're going to take another quick break. That was a short one.
Well, you want to just go through the D block here? Since I kind of prompted an early break.
No, you didn't prompt an early break. We were coming to that story.
All right.
We'll take a quick break here. Regroup ourselves. Let me get my commercial set. I didn't prep this commercial either, so let me do that, and we'll take a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Sunrise Shops are here to serve you. Stop in and try one of our signature coffee blends, or even try one of our 16-head fountain sodas. With convenient locations in Jonesville, Sunrise Shops are always right around the corner. The Saucy Dogs is the name, and barbecue is the game. Come on down for a good time and some great food. At Saucy Dogs, try our barbecue nachos or our tasty ribs. We'll have you howling for more. Saucy Dogs, downtown Jonesville. There's a reason the professionals shop at Jonesville Lumber. They receive quality, service, and knowledge. For nearly 100 years, Jonesville Lumber has been serving our community with great products at competitive prices. Let Jonesville Lumber help you with your next project.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Scott Pienta alongside my co-host, Mr. Josh Coletta.
Hello.
I tell you what, we got our next story coming up here, Josh. Let me get it up and queued up because I didn't have it queued up. This next story here, Josh, is Facebook. Well,
partial honesty from them,
and I haven't looked at it yet. I haven't played around with it. So, but that's who this next video is from. Let's take a look at it. Well, here it is. Facebook is giving you a glimpse into how it tracks what you do when you're not on its site. If I'm not on their site,
glimpse.
How do they know what I'm doing?
Well, they can keep track of things that you're doing on your phone without you being on the
I don't want them to do anything. Tuesday, yesterday, not today, the social networking site launched the Off Facebook Activity tool. You can find it under Facebook information on the site's I'm sorry, I'm doing two things
In the
here.
site settings.
In the
yes.
site settings, according to the company, it gives users the summary of businesses and organizations that share information with the site. It also shows the kind of activity they share. Facebook says companies will tell them things like when you're opened an app, make a purchase or a donation, or search for an item. The site then uses that information in their ads. I seem to notice that because my crap all the time is always popping up something I'm just looking at somewhere else. Once again, this is all activity you would do when you're not on Facebook site or the app. Now, Facebook admits they're not showing users all of the information they receive from companies. It says users can disconnect their off Facebook activity by clearing its history and turning off future off Facebook activity. And I'm going to be doing that because I
One
get
of the
irritated.
things they don't disclose here, and they have insisted over the years that they don't do, is listening to you over your phone.
Oh, yeah, I know they do.
They absolutely do.
There's several times that
They
I've
will
said
tell you
something.
they don't. They do.
There
Yeah.
are several times that I've said something, and next thing you know, I got an ad popping up, and I didn't search for it.
Didn't have anything to do with it
Yeah.
on the internet at all. It was something
Exactly.
you said verbally
Yep.
or orally.
Yep,
And yeah.
It's
They do.
It's a big non-brother listening, you know, and it's but that's the problem is we get more, and that's another thing on Facebook that a lot of people don't understand. They get these little challenges, I guess they're called, you know, where you click on, you know, what's your birth month and this is your name and pick out the first letter and this is like whatever the heck they do. You know, all that is a way for them to for a lot of hackers
track
getting
you.
your information.
Yeah.
You know, they get more information about you by asking a certain month.
If it's something that you're actually clicking on doing, if it's
Right.
something that you're just typing out, then that's just kind
exactly.
of whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But that is also just an information. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's an information highway, and people do it not thinking about it. Another big thing is, oh shoot, what was the other thing I was thinking of for Facebook? Another big one that they do. The sharing the posts. Oh, if you see this, you know, I bet you I can't get 1,000 posts or shares. That's another way they track your information.
Sometimes,
It's a
yeah.
lot of times, you know what I mean? And sometimes it's legit, sometimes
Yeah.
it's not.
I would say for the most part it is legit, but there are, I mean, people definitely can take advantage of that.
They'll
And it has
definitely take
happened.
advantage of it. You know what I mean? And that's why I don't click on any of it. I don't share it. Sorry if you sent that and you wanted me to share it. Well, what's the word I'm looking for? Tough shit. I'm not going to.
The ones that really both amuse and annoy me is, like and share if you think this, or like and share if you believe this, or if you want to. If you're praying for, this person who fell on hard times or something, share this to, spread the message and all that. And it's, honestly, first of all, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Secondly,
I know it. Hey, Jim.
Secondly, people are going to do these things on their own or not do them on their own.
Right.
They don't need you to, spread it virally. This is something that just occurs naturally.
Yep.
So, just leave it alone.
I know.
There's no purpose to it.
I know. It's always something. Getting into our next story here, Josh. Well, this next story is kind of impressive. It's not me, I tell you that much. Can you
No,
lift
me neither.
230 pounds?
Definitely not.
Well, if the answer is no, Josh, well, you're about to meet a 9-year-old who is stronger than you.
That's not surprising at all.
You're a big wuss is what you're saying.
I can lift a decent amount, but not 230 pounds.
Well, you can lift a cheeseburger. We know that.
Well, yes. I can also lift 50-pound bags
There
of,
you go.
feed or things like that.
There you
but
go. I can lift a cheeseburger. I can do that myself. That's what got me into the problem
done
I'm in.
farm work.
Yeah, I'm trying to lose that cheeseburger weight.
Yeah.
Tate Figley is his name. Decided to start lifting weights about 18 months ago. Since then, he's been working out every morning, and so far, he's broken 7 records in his weight class.
I would think so.
3 of them in a single day, Josh.
That makes sense.
Tate can bench press 92 pounds, squat 90, and deadlift 230 pounds. He says he never set out to break records. He just liked the sport.
Yeah.
So, that's really cool. Tate is heading to Florida this summer to try to win a national championship.
All right. Another Florida story.
Good job for him. You know what I mean? That's look at all the weight
Yeah.
that kid's got. Man, whew, not me. I can't lift that. I mean,
Nope.
Only thing I'm deadlifting is my own fat. I'm telling you what, that's about it. But yeah, great job, Tate. Man, I tell you what. And speaking of the football, we're coming into our final story. Actually, this is a short broadcast today. We got a little shorter than normal. Coming into our final story, and this one here has to do with the Super Bowl again. And then we're going to talk about it. We got a special guest coming up on Friday, Josh. So don't let me forget about that.
No.
So
I will not.
Oh, here it is right here. And this one here, I tell you what, you're about to meet a man who will either make you pump your fist in approval or roll your eyes. It all depends on what you think of the Kansas City Chiefs and football in general. Now, this guy here has everything in his Chiefs-themed man cave holds value, he says. Oh, you don't see it. Let me show it to you here. Maybe a button here. There we go.
There it is.
There's a button. I pushed it 3 times, and it didn't go, and I wasn't looking at it. So everything is Chiefs-themed in his Chief-themed man cave holds value. And anything he says Kansas City he keeps, no matter how he got it. He's even literally gotten stuff out of the trash. It's a collection that started a decade ago when Trevor's mother-in-law gave him a full box of stuff with the team's name and logo on it. Now, he says when you invest as much in time, effort, and feelings in anything, it's going to obviously escalate into something like this, I guess. Trevor keeps all of his Chiefs in this room. It's probably because of his wife. From your traditional bags and flags to posters and some kookier items. He even has, Josh, guess what? Scratch-off tickets hanging on the wall.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe. You heard that right. Scratch-off tickets, his lottery tickets are on the wall. Old pizza boxes, which, okay. Plates, tickets, a baby's bib, all Chiefs treasures to his 32-year-old. To this 32-year-old, I tell you what, there's a story.
Everything has a story.
Everything. It must have a story. And it's got to drive his wife nuts. Trevor says the most valuable Chiefs memorabilia in this room is his Jamal Charles rookie card, which we've seen just a minute ago, and the running back signed during training camp in 2013. Yeah, so I guess he's 70 out of 75. He signed it in front of him. He thought that was pretty cool. Now, Linda Allender is Trevor's grandmother. She's a big part of why he loves football, and the Chiefs Super Bowl Sunday is just as important as Christmas and Thanksgiving in their family. He just loves the game. Now, less than a week away from the big game, you might think Trevor would want to watch it from his sacred space. Well, he won't. Instead, he'll share Sunday with his family at Grandma's house. So
probably has more room on the wall at Grandma's house for the TV to hang.
Yeah. Well, Lane says when he runs out of room on the walls, he's going to start putting memorabilia on the ceiling.
Now, why not?
You might just surround yourself in the Chiefs. It's Chiefs all the way, I guess. But who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl?
I would do that with the Miami teams myself. That would be my man cave. Who do I think is going to win the Super Bowl?
Who you got?
I don't know. It's hard to say this year. That's going to be a really good game.
Yeah, I think so too. Brett was thought it's going to be 49ers over top of the Chiefs by just a couple points. I think he said 31-29. I'd say he's probably pretty close. I'd say it's probably going to be a little further spread. I say it's probably going to be probably 6 points.
Yeah.
I'd say the Chiefs might take this one here over top of the 49ers by 6. So we're going to see
I don't
who's
know,
right.
that Niners offenses.
I know the Niners offense is good.
Push.
But we're going to see when it comes down to it who's the athletic people. So, hey, that's going to wrap up our show here today, and I want to thank you.
Don't forget to mention our guest Friday.
Yeah, that's right. Our special guest. Good, thank you. See, that's why I told you not to let me forget. We're going to have a special guest
to remind you, so that's
we're going to have a special guest, and you know where they're going to be sitting? They're going to be sitting right there.
Right over here.
Yeah, they're going to be sitting not here. The camera's on me right now. They're going to be sitting over there instead of on top of me. They're not going to be sitting here. They're going to be sitting over there. That special guest, hey, he's going to be coming all the way from the big city of Hillsdale. They're a bigwig in Hillsdale there,
Yes.
Josh. So they're going to be coming on in on this Friday.
Yes.
We've got some other guests lined up, or we're trying to get some other guests lined up. But we've made some inquiries and waiting to hear back from them on which Friday they want to join. But we're going to try to do that on Fridays going forward. Because it's a great thing to bring people in here on Friday and get a different perspective.
Yep.
The next guest, I'm going to be excited about if we can pull it off. I think it would be a great guest. But we'll see what happens, and we'll get to more from there. But for myself, Scott Pienta, as well as Mr. Josh Coletta.
Have a great afternoon, everyone.